A new report's found that CEO pay is once again skyrocketing while companies are slashing the median pay for the people who are getting the job done, the workers. I love this fact that Bernie Sanders seemed to be the only person that had enough sense to say, wait a second. There needs to be some cost for a CEO getting 500 or 600 times the amount of money that the worker's getting. The worker is the person that's making the CEO look good. The worker is delivering, and the CEO is getting paid 500 times what the worker's being paid. Pick it up.
Yeah, this new study found that over the last year, just the last year, CEO pay has gone up 11%. Worker pay has declined by 9%. So there is now an even, a 20-point larger gap than there was before. So CEOs, not only are the companies making more money than ever, they have fully recovered from the pandemic numbers, but workers are making less on average.
This number says 251 times. 250. This is the median number.
Yeah.
Understand, that's the median number. That's not, with the typical CEO getting paid 500 times, but the median, just the median level alone is 250 times. And so how do you solve it? What's the solution there? And the solution is to say, okay, if we've got a company, and this is Bernie's solution, it's at least the beginning. If a CEO is making 50 times what a worker is making, there's got to be some tax now the problem I have with that is that doesn't really help the worker. You follow me? The tax, that's where this all goes astray. The government collecting tax money still doesn't help that worker. There's got to be something more direct where the government's not making that money, but the worker is benefiting. And to say, well, we know this, some people have already tried it. You've got places where they've already tried this. It doesn't do anything for the worker. All it does is makes more tax money for that entity, right?
Right. The cities that have done this or the states that have done this say, hey, well, look, we are bringing in more revenue. And the workers at these companies say, well, okay, wonderful for you. What about me? Like you said you were going to help me, and I have nothing. My life has not changed. And a lot of times also, these corporations, if they do get hit with a tax like this,
they pass it on.
Right. They'll look for loopholes too. And they'll say, okay, well, you're talking about salary, so your base salary is going to be $1 million. Your bonus at the end of the year is going to be $50 million. Mm-hmm. And you can't touch that because that's not part of your regular pay. So they will find a way around it if that happens. But what has to happen here is that we have to get price gouging under control to help the consumers, and we have to put some kind of protection in place for these workers to make sure that when the company does better, they're doing better as well.
I thought this was so San Francisco. San Francisco, they tried doing some variation of this. Well, San Francisco made $137 million in tax money for the city, but the workers didn't benefit one dime. So as we look at this, you got to say, okay, well, what is really going to protect the workers? What kind of mandate are we going to give the CEO to say, look, no, 500 times what the worker's making doesn't make any sense. And it's got to be something besides a tax. Bernie at least is on to something here. So let's do something. But it's got to be something not that the government makes money, but the worker actually benefits. Donald Trump's allies are growing increasingly concerned about his campaign, with some who are close to the former president saying that it's almost like he's trying to lose this election. There's no doubt that his campaign is faltering. Whether it can change it, it's up to him. It's really up to him. But this petulant child thing that's going on is really hurting him. I mean, we kind of accept that that's the way he's going to do things all the time. I mean, that's a good shot. but he's going over. Why not talk about policy, right? Compare his policy to Harris's policy is what his advisors are telling him. Instead, he wants to make up names like a fifth grader child. It's always been his MO, right?
Well, and that's what's so weird about it is, none of this is unexpected, but at least in the past, he had, whether you agreed with these ideas or not, he had things he would say that also sounded like policy.
Presidential.
Build the wall. Let's, stop the immigrant from coming over here. And that was to a degree, that is technically a policy, and it is something that obviously in 2016 and 2020, his base rallied around that idea.
Yeah.
But he's not even doing anything close to that anymore. He's just out there saying, well, the images of people at her rallies, those are fake. Let me try to test a new nickname for her this week because the other ones didn't work.
I mean, even the nicknames, I mean, you look at it and you just go, what the heck?
Kamabla.
Kamabla. I mean, and then he says, his response is, I know what I'm doing. Hush. I know what, that's literally what he's saying right now. So I don't know. You know, there's some question about whether he has PTSD on the attempted assassination.
You know, I've seen that, and honestly, that makes sense. If that is what the campaign wanted to go out there with a message of, that actually may work at this point to say, listen, the guy was a half an inch away from having his head blown off on live TV. That's going to mess with anybody. So give him time, give him space. We're going to right the ship. But he's put what I think is just the dumbest people possible in charge of his campaign because he doesn't reward intelligence or capability. It's about loyalty.
It's apeism, I call it apeism. Well, you know, okay, here you've got, for example, why do you go after Brian Kemp? What did that do in the big picture? He was angry at Kemp because Kemp didn't do what he wanted to do, didn't do his bidding, so he makes an attack there. He attacks everybody rather than just saying, look, stop it. Hush, you idiot. Start talking about policies. You can talk about policies, but this fifth grade attack of everybody who's not his friend has just become, it's like a petulant child. It's like Frank Luntz says, shut up, and go talk like a president. I don't know that he's capable of doing it.
I don't think at this point in his life he is at all.
Yeah.
And it's also, you know, what's so weird about it is remember in 2020, towards the end stretch there, his campaign was starting to do a little worse. So what did he do? He finally said, let me bring in an actual Republican that knows what they're doing. He brought in Karl Rove. Because we sat here and talked about that at the time.
Exactly.
It didn't help him to the degree he thought it would, but he did it a little too late.
Well, they know he's still well in striking distance. There's nothing going on out there that he's going, oh my God, it's over. That's why the advisors need to advise, but I don't know if you can advise him. That's the problem.
No, I mean, he's 78 years old. He is set in his way. And back in 2016, this bullying, this name calling, that worked. He got past Hillary Clinton, threw her off her game with nothing more than these insults. But he saw the success of it one time and thought, well, okay,
this works.
This is what I am.
Let me do it again.
And it's not sticking.
Look, listen to him talk. I mean, very, 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 it's like a fifth grader. And so you take that and you say, okay, well, why should we expect anything else? But he's killing himself, okay? He's taken an election that's his to lose, really. I still think it's his to lose. But if you look at it at this point, if he keeps this up, it's over, man.
Well, and a month ago, November was going to be a bloodbath for the Democrats.
Yeah.
I mean, probably losing the Senate, definitely not getting the House, and of course losing the presidency. Yeah. And because of just the way he is not listening to smart people, because the smart people are out there. They're on Fox News every day. They're on social media. You know, they're texting him saying, just stop it.
I know. You can't help. You can't turn that around.
Yeah.